here, under Republican leadership, has sent, I don't know, would it be fair to say hundreds of things to the Senate that never got voted on? Or I could say dozens, certainly, right?
No, hundreds. They're like 230 or something.
All right, well, almost 300 that Harry Reid has, for one way or another, sat on it, and Krauthammer weighed in on it. Let's listen to what Dr. Charles had to say. Go ahead, Jess, play the clip.
Look, I think what's really important here is that Republicans are going to have a chance to show how retroactively for the last 6 years everything is stopped in the Senate. Democrats stopped it, Harry Reid stopped it, and they effectively acted as a shield to make Obama look as if he wasn't the one stopping stuff. Well, now he's going to be exposed because he's going to have to exercise the veto. Schumer and the others could prevent a few of the bills from landing on the president's desk with these ridiculous amendments on Keystone, for example, but I think it'll expose them. But the days of hiding under Harry Reid's desk are over.
You know, it'd be the messaging.
Never mind.
Never mind. Okay, here's what Krauthammer said. Republicans will have a chance to show how retroactively everything has been stopping at the Senate. Harry Reid stopped it. They effectively acted as a shield to make Obama look as if he wasn't the one stopping stuff. Now he's going to be exposed because he will have to exercise the veto. The days of hiding under Harry Reid's desk are over.
That is completely awesome. And listen, I know sometimes that, okay, so let me tell the folks, and this raises another question, but Jessica just said that the audio was low, but it played. So Jessica, my question is, then we were muted during it. Where are we?
Yes, you guys were muted and it played.
We can't hear her. So we will move.
They can't hear me?
Yeah. We'll move on.
We will absolutely move on, and that's it. You know, it is going to be interesting to see. There's two choices that the Republicans have at this point. One is to go back and, just like Krauthammer's saying, retroactively pass all that stuff that the House set up, and then send it to Obama and let him put his veto on it. That's one option. Now, this is the political part that I don't know. Right? Do they send up that stuff and give him an opportunity to veto it and make political hay over that? Or do they try to, in advance, work with him to send him stuff that he will sign so they can say they got stuff done? What do you think?
I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. If they bombard, we talked about this a couple of months ago. If they bombard him with bills that they know he will veto, I think, again, you know, given liberal media and, you know, the perception of Congress, and, you know, when the liberal media talks about the perception and the approval rating with Congress, of course, we know if they're talking about Republicans, they'll jump all over that. You know, they're just doing this for theater. They're picking on Obama, whatever. But then on the other hand, I mean, if they extend, you know, the proverbial olive branch to him, when he, you know, comes out and says, I want to work with Congress, but I'm going to whip out the veto pen a whole lot more now than I ever did, then maybe that will be good for them.
Yeah, you know what, here's the deal, is I like the idea of, you know, the Constitution has this separation of powers deal, and the Republicans now hold 2/3. And I do not agree with this whole, oh, well, we can't advance an agenda because we don't hold the White House and blah, blah, blah.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
Right. So it's time to play hardball.
Well, see, that's you know me, and I know you. I mean, that is our natural reaction to almost anything when we think we're right. But I think also to an extent that, you know, rightly or wrongly, and I think probably mostly wrongly, but God, I even hate to say this out loud, that Boehner and the majority of Republicans in Congress pay a lot of attention to how stuff is going to be presented in the media.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is the opportunity, in my opinion, the opportunity to try to guide that narrative. So don't just send up, okay, here's something that the House passed 10 months ago that Harry Reid sat on it. The Senate has now signed
Right.
off on it,
Right.
put it on the desk. Sit there and hope and wait for the phone to ring. At the same time, the courier is going down the hill over to 1600 Penn. Be out on the steps of the Capitol describing exactly what's going up there and why it's important, and what the process has been, and how it reflects what America wants. And we will be waiting to see how the president responds to that, and make it a thing.
And you're exactly right. We've said this on the show before. Uh, as it related to the midterms, Republicans have a unique opportunity now to prove why they should win in 2016. If they are able to do what you just said, explain very clearly, very simply, to be honest, why what they're proposing is good for America, and then have him veto it, I think you're spot on.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is it's something that hasn't been done before, at least not in my recollection. I mean,
Not since Ronald Reagan, dude.
well, no, didn't we have the Senate? Didn't the Republicans have the Senate and the House during Clinton?
Well, they did 2 years in. The Republican Revolution, I think it was '84. Gingrich was swept into to House leadership and so forth. And we talked about this as well. I mean, Clinton wisely moved to work with Gingrich, frankly, versus the other way around. So absolutely. But I think, at least on a presidential level, well, and beyond, listen, Boehner sucks at this as well. Republicans have not been very good at explaining to the folks, going over the head of the media, if you will, which Reagan did, going around the media with simple charts. Remember, dude, I'm old, but Reagan, he would do these White House, these Oval Office broadcasts. He would have simple charts. He would talk directly to the people. And, the media could, lambaste him and analyzed it any way they wanted. But he connected. I just think the Republicans have for a long time sucked at doing that.
Yeah, well, it's funny that the current president, he also talks directly to the American people every Saturday.
Yeah.
He's got his weekly address. So as much as you and I ignore it, unless we're going to write an article on something stupid he says, there's a part. Just that they're doing. I don't know. There's got to be a way, in my opinion, to make it known that they're holding his feet to the fire on things that they feel like they were elected to do.
I agree with you, but I think to the extent that, and I don't even know, to your reference to his Saturday morning chats, addresses. I don't even know to what extent the Democrats attention to those things, because you just got so much time in the day. But there has to be a platform for Republicans to respond, not to those Saturday morning conversations, but just to stuff that he does and Democrats do. Let alone, the liberal media report the Republican response.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. Well, it'll be interesting, and no question about it. It'll be my job and your job to, number one, discuss those items as they come up, and then also to evaluate whether or not they're working.
And you know what? If Grainer, if Boehner doesn't decide to grow, say I wanted to get to grow a pair somehow miraculously, pretty quickly, it's going to be the same old, and that will be a travesty, and that will set up, I predict, devastation for the Republicans in 2016.
Yeah. Totally think you're right about that. All right. You know what, Mike? We're less than a minute. We're just about out of time here, brother. Why don't you take us out?
Again, I mean, the show flies by. I've got 42 things, as do you, to talk about, and we're going to have to hit some of them tomorrow. We appreciate you guys listening to us. We appreciate you following us online and on our website and everything else. So come back tomorrow and tell your friends, by the way, tell your friends, just not only conservatives, but liberals as well. This is The Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum. We will be back tomorrow. You be here too.
This show is produced by IJReview.com.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of panelists and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media, the host, or anyone else.